How do you do, fellow kids? Do you remember this show called High Guardian Spice that looks like somebody at Crunchyroll saw Ruby and thought, what if it was written by girls? Well, now it's one of 8 shows being peddled as Crunchyroll originals. So let's run down these marketing blurbs and count the red flags, shall we? Number 1 is in Spectre. And right off the bat, they hit us with a supernatural, enthralling, and fantastical. So they're obviously dripping with confidence. And I can see they blew their load early on calling the show a mystery, so they panicked and had to switch it to dark incidents. So the verdict is, I'm not very hopeful for this one. Number 2 looks like Tower of God. And hey, it's another mystery story. Gosh, they sure know what inexplicably sells. They got some magic of friendship going on here too. And this gif just looks like something straight out of Cornexia and the Eight Seals. Only one unnecessary adjective though, so they're improving in that regard at least. Verdict, it'll probably be extremely boring. The third one is FreakAngels. And After Civilization. It's a post-apocalypse story. Great. A sudden and crashing end, so the adjective fairy visited this one too. 12 characters, that's not a very good sign. And why is their age relevant? Especially since they're all 23. Wait, they're all 23? So it's important that we know they're not teenagers, but they're also not old enough to have much relevant life experience. So does the suddenness of this end and the discover they're better angels line imply that this is another mystery? Or am I just being paranoid? And finally, rebuilding society. Final verdict, it sounds like Dr. Stone, but with the science traded out for magic and way more prelapsarian nostalgia. What's this next one? Sword and gun? Can I skip it? No. This one doesn't sound nearly as bad as the others, but Devious Spy is throwing up some mystery signals as well as sins of their past. Final verdict, if I had a gun or a sword, in this case, to my head, I would probably watch this one. Now, High Guardian Spice. Is it a bad sign that the only one that I've ever heard of is buried in the middle of this list? Probably. Right off the bat, we get a fierce and a great. So that's fantastic. And here it is, uncovered betrayals, discovering their true identities, and an ominous unknown threat. Yet another mystery. Crunchyroll, what's wrong with you? Verdict, kill it with fire. Next on the list is Noblesse. What?
My dick's falling off!
Noblesse? This fantasy follows a powerful vampire. Oh, this show already. Thrown into a modern civilization? This show times 2. Dangerous adventures with his new friends? This show times 3. Secret organization? This show times infinity. And uncover his past? This show times infinity squared. Final verdict, forget High Guardian Spice, kill this one with fire. Number 7 is The God of High School. This action-packed series, guys, okay, if you take one thing away from this video, let it be that adjectives make you sound desperate. They might as well be adding please to the end of these synopses. It gives off the impression that the show can't demonstrate these attributes on its own. Now, this one didn't sound so bad until the goddamn mysterious organization. There is no clearer way to demonstrate the show's lack of value than to market it with the mysterious aspect. Any properly told story will have aspects that aren't immediately apparent, but selling a show as a means to manufacture speculation is creatively bankrupt. Final verdict? Just no. And finally, Onyx Equinox. It's a chosen one story, but on the bright side, it doesn't seem to be sold on its mysterious elements. So I'm already feeling way more charitable towards this one, despite all of the humanity's potential and fantastical yet authentic that's going on here. Final verdict, Crunchyroll is the worst at pitching shows. Or maybe making them. But remember, just because a show has a lousy synopsis or a bad marketing push doesn't mean that the show will be bad. These ones will be, though. That's pretty clear. And I'm not just saying that. I actually watched the first couple episodes of Spectre, and it has some of the worst dialogue I ever sat through. But that's only because the animation and directing are so bad that it would be impossible to tell what's going on by looking at what's happening. And it's also pretty awful that Crunchyroll's business plan seems to be make a site so unstable that it crashes every 10 seconds and they make you watch half a dozen ads every time you refresh the page. So to gauge the effectiveness of this marketing, putting them all in a list and pitting them against each other is really dumb. Making them all sound so bloody similar is probably the death blow to the concept of Crunchyroll originals. And making damn sure that we knew about all the mysterious aspects up front is courting the content creators shamelessly. They're expecting to get a lot of free promotion out of 8 weekly speculation videos on hundreds of channels without needing an actual story to carry any of these shows. So now that you just watched me blow my chance at a Crunchyroll sponsorship, why don't you support me on Patreon? Or if you work at one of Crunchyroll's competitors, hey, hit me up. I'll shill your original series if they look better than these, which they inevitably will.